Shoals, but I'm talking about Caring Place in Florence today. I'm a retired teacher that had to retire early because my mom had dementia and needed help. So I made a difference with children when I was younger, and now I'm trying to make a difference with the elderly in the Shoals while I'm older also. I'm volunteer with the board of Caring Place. I'm in charge of fundraising, and we are not a lazy board. You can see that we've just had the tour of homes recently. We pledged to earn $100,000 a year to help keep Caring Place's doors open. I also am the facilitator for the Caregiver Support Group and Grief Group, and that is free to anybody in the Shoals area that needs to come to us. It is not just if you belong to Caring Place. Caring Place is the only adult day center in Florence or the Shoals area or the surrounding area. In fact, we're the only adult day center in the United States with gold certification in Montessori techniques to take care of them. I could do a seminar for you today, but in a nutshell, that says that we're looking for the things that they are capable of still doing instead of the things they can't accomplish anymore. We take care of people with dementia, and I don't know if you know it or not, but there are over 120 different kinds of dementia, with Alzheimer's being the most prevalent of those. The frail elderly, the caregivers, and this will tickle you a little bit. We take care of the loved ones so that they can get away from the caregivers sometimes too. You know, you don't think about that. We are open Monday through Friday from 9 until 5, but we make special exceptions if someone needs help with some other time. Right now we're working on some care for the weekends. I speak to all 4 city councils. I speak to the 2 county commissions, and what I'm telling you is there's not enough for the elderly in our area, okay? We have assisted living and nursing homes for more advanced cases. We have senior citizen centers, and y'all have a wonderful one in Florence for the people that are well enough to go. We have Meals on Wheels, which is just income oriented, so everybody's not even eligible to get that. And we have a wonderful NACOG that gives us 25 scholarships a year for $2,500 of care for 25 individuals. And that breaks down to about 4.5 months of care, 2 days a week, 4 hours a day for them. So that's it. That's all there is. We have people coming from Huntsville to look at us when they are working in Huntsville but want cheaper living. And if they have elderly, they don't come to us because we don't have the little individual homes that move to assisted living, that move on seamlessly to nursing home. We also have people moving from this area to places like Priceville to get that kind of care. We're behind, folks. There have been a lot of emphasis lately on children, battered women, the homeless, pickleball, and animals, which are all very important causes. But the elderly are the people that built this town, paid their taxes, and worked hard. And it's time for us to help them too. The first several years that I visited the council, they gave me $5,000. And then Hester Cope came onto our board, and she took my hand and said, we're going to see the mayor and we're going to get $50,000. And I was like, I'll come with you, but we won't get $50,000. But we did that year. We did. The next year we received $25,000 from Florence, and they encouraged Senator Melton to give us $25,000 so that we still had our $50,000. This year I've requested $50,000 from y'all because I haven't heard from Senator Melton, even though I've asked for his help. We appreciate everything that's given to us, but we do need money to keep our doors open. We're one of the few things y'all have right now in the area for the elderly. We try to give back to the city because you help us. We just had the holiday tour of homes, which sold about 500 tickets, and it spotlighted Florence and Muscle Shoals this year. We usually have between 20 and 25 clients at Caring Place, and everyone entering our program has a terminal illness. So we are like a revolving door with people always joining and leaving us due to the need for more skilled care or loss of life. Right now we have 16 people in our group that are from Lauderdale County. We hope again that you will decide to award us money that will help us keep our doors open. And I just wanted to give you a quick synopsis of what has happened to us because you're a new board, and I don't know that you know that. We were in the Brandon Center, and we had invested $350,000 in the structure, and we read in the newspaper that the hospital had bought that and that we no longer had a place to go. So we've been coming back from the dust since then. From the time the hospital was built until it'll be 3 years this March that we've been open. We have been finding a place that we own, renovating it. We don't owe anything on it, and just trying to keep our doors open. So thank you for listening to me. Do you have any questions? And thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nunley. Mr. Jordan?
Good afternoon. I have one item. It's item C, and we are basically, I think Mr. Coons brought this, Hobart has changed names to All Brand Service. So this is to do some preventative maintenance on our ice machines. And we have 12, and this will be done twice a year for a total of $590 at each location for a little over $7,000 for total. Any questions about that? Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Batson?
I'm here to discuss a project that's been going on for a long time. I know it was at least prior to 2015, but it's a project that is being done by the state, and the state's paying the majority of the funding, 80%, and the city will be paying 20%. But the resolution is to approve the revised utility and construction agreement for a federal aid project, the addition of a center turn lane and pedestrian facilities on Rickwood Road from Chisholm Road to Helton Drive, including the Tennessee Southern Railroad, crossing between the city of Florence and the state of Alabama. The funding turns out to be 80% federal money and 20% city money. So that's basically what we're dealing with now. The project is going to really widen the street. What the plan is they're going to have a 12-foot wide shared use path on one side. And on the other side, they're going to have sidewalks and everything. So, a lot's going into this, but, the funding, again, is 80% state and 20% city. Any questions?
What's the timeline of this, Bill?
Well, I mean, it's going to be a significant project. I don't know how long it'll take, but and just for future understanding of this, when you deal with the state, I mean, they're meticulous about it, and I'm not kidding when I say that when we first started working on this, it was before 2015, and they got to be working on it, pretty earnestly, but still, it's from 2015 to 2025, man. We're up to, we're getting close to 11 years right now. So it's just, the state moves a little bit different from everybody else.
Bill, is this one of those projects, we had one that came up last year like this that kind of caught the council off guard, and this being mostly a new council, when we deal with the state on these 80/20s, is this one of those where our 20 will become due when the state closes out the project? And it could be in future budgets when that
I
happens?
don't know how to answer that. I really, I wished I did, but, there could be fluctuations in cost. Now, I think that's, the state's usually pretty good about this being a representative cost, but, I just, a lot of these questions I don't know how to answer.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that, because we've got an interest in it, and, there's a lot, we'll be out there checking it every day.
Bill, quick question. This is like the final phase. We've relocated all the utilities. It was an MPO project's what it began as, right? Metropolitan Planning Organization, NACOG. I don't know, NACOG administer MPO. Is that how that works?
Yep.
And so it's been through several phases. They've relocated all the utilities. They've done lots of preliminary work, engineering work, utility relocation. So this is the final phase of a project that it didn't just now start. It's had a lot of effort
Oh, yeah,
going into it.
it's been going on since before 2015.
And
Now,
this is the final step to
Right.
wrap it up.
Right.
So it's not the only work that's been done, it's the final steps,
Yes.
stages of work.
Yes.
Right.
Any other questions?
That's it. Thank you. Chief Anderton?
Good afternoon. I have one item this afternoon. It's 11E, and this is a pretty standard, straightforward. It's a memorandum of understanding between the City of Florence and Industrial Emergency Services. They have basically needing access for facility usage to our training center. There's a couple of the props on the drill field. They're not wanting to use the building itself. They're just wanting access to the restroom facilities and a couple of the props that we have on the drill field. And they're going to be conducting some training for some industrial locations in and around the industrial park area. And they have identified at this point 2 separate weeks, a total of 10 days in the month of January that they would like to do this. And there is a reimbursement cost per day to the city for their usage of $500 per day. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Cole?
Good afternoon. I have one item on the agenda. It's item F. It's a contract with Alabama Painting Incorporated. It's in the amount of $4,500 per 8-hour shift. We do anticipate this to take 2 shifts, so roughly $9,000. And this is for the cleaning of the pump pits at the Cypress Creek wastewater treatment facility. Any questions? Thank y'all.
Thank you. Chief?
Good afternoon. I only have one item. It is item B on the regular agenda. That is a resolution to approve a contract with Motorola Solutions to furnish everything that we need for body cam camera and video cloud storage subscription for the City of Florence Police Department. It's a 5-year contract. Year 1 is $99,000, which has been budgeted. Years 2 through 5 is $125,000, which will be absorbed within my budget as well. Any questions? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Mason?
Good evening. I've got 2 items on the agenda. Both are emergency repairs to pay an invoice for Crouch and Sons Plumbing. The beginning of October, we had a water leak in the restrooms on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd floor of City Hall. And then at the end of October, we had a leak in the mechanical room behind the women's restroom on the 1st floor that was leaking into the basement. And those were emergency repairs that had to be made.
They all fixed up?
All fixed up.
Okay,
Any questions? Thank you.
thank you. Mr. Kuntz? Did I miss? Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. Mr. Collier.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm here as a citizen of Florence that don't really live here much because of the work I do. But I get a lot of calls from citizens of Florence regarding CDBG. My background is I'm the chief executive officer of a nonprofit in Mississippi. I do about $10 million worth of federal grants every year. I interface with CDBG programs year in and year out. And when I get calls in my office in Mississippi from people in Florence because they feel as if they're not getting serviced by CDBG grants, and I'm looking at about $40,000 in resolutions that will probably be approved this evening. There's an abundance of concern. CDBG is developed by low-income and moderate-income communities. Therefore, the monies that are attributed to Florence, and I think Florence is a municipality that is entitled. Is that correct? Anybody? None of you all know. Okay, thank you. But I think this is an entitled community, and the people who live in Florence are entitled to get services. I spoke with a couple of citizens just last week that had been summarily approved to get some services, and then they were told that they couldn't get them. I called your CDBG director, Ms. Bailey, and she didn't return my call, so when you don't call, I come. That's why I'm here. There's something broken in reference to how this program is being operated. And I have several questions, and I'm sure I won't get any answers from the responses I have gotten thus far. But one thing is there should be a citizens committee. Is there a citizens committee that heads up CDBG for monthly or quarterly meetings from the low and moderate income communities? Maybe you don't know. But there should be a committee that answers to the citizens who actually are the generators of this entitlement monies, namely West Florence and some parts of East Florence. But I don't think it's being done properly. When I lived here, just transparency, for 15 years, I ran federal programs at Community Action of Northwest Alabama. So my teeth have been cut for the last 30 years all over the Southeast and the Eastern Seaboard running these programs. They're not new to me. So when I hear people call and say, and I speak with someone from the agency that does the work and say that I was 99% sure I was going to help this person, but when I sent it to the CDBG office, it was denied, something's wrong. Sometimes people are given too much power. You agree with that, Mayor Tyler? I think we're in a vacuum in America right now where people are given too much power and they're not really being reined in properly. Now, I know Ms. Bailey has run this division for, I know, at least 20 years. When Mayor Irons was in office, she was here. My first encounter was her taking a grant from a senior computer program in West Florence with no recourse or no feedback to me when I asked what happened. And so apparently she still operates the same way. So Counselor, without being long-winded, and I could, I'm simply here to say that you're tasked with doing a job that serves the city of Florence, not segments of Florence. And when people are in need, their unit is out, their windows are leaking, whatever it may be, and they are qualified for these programs, they should get the service. I don't know if you agree or not, but I think they should. So as the working body that runs this city, you know, I always said and I always have said, if Florence worked for everybody as beautiful as the landscape is, this would be a great place to live. But it doesn't. So I just come and I realize nothing will change if nothing changes. But it's incumbent upon you all as the leaders, the fiduciary agents of this city, to make sure that all citizens in this city are treated fairly. And even to the point that when they are denied a service through CDBG programs, they are supposed to get a letter explaining why they were denied. And every citizen that I've asked has never gotten a letter. Now, you may need training. You may need a workshop. You may need to go to DC or to Atlanta to become versed in how these programs operate. You may need me to come and do a workshop with you for a whole day and give you the particulars of how community development block grants work. Now I see she's given about $40,000 out, and the least amount is to the most needed, the homeless, $3,000. Something wrong with that picture. So, as I take my seat, I'm gonna ask you all to search within yourselves. And if you know anything about Matthew 25, 34 through 42, you should attempt, as the leaders of this city, to understand that it says, when I was hungry, you fed me. When I was clothless, you clothed me. When I was without a place to live, you housed me. When I was sick, you came to see about me. And the question will be asked, well, when did we do this? Y'all know the scripture, I'm sure some of you. He said, when you did it unto the least of these, you did it also unto me. And vis-a-vis, he will say the same thing to those who didn't do anything. But the end is, depart from me, you workers of iniquity. And there will be a continual fall into the abyss. Bless you all. Have a good evening. I hope somebody heard what I said and began to treat the citizens of Florence with equity, no matter who they are, where they live, and what they look like.
Thank you. And just a clarification, we wasn't ignoring you, we just don't have dialogue back and forth. Okay. Mr. Coons.
Good afternoon. I have 4 things on the agenda. The first 2 are service contracts with Thompson Tractor Company to come to, first one, solid waste and recycle. The second one is street department to work on our machinery. We do this every year, kind of general services contract of what they're going to charge. They go up on us about every year or so. These are just general contracts to come out, work on stuff. A lot of our Caterpillar stuff we use every day. Any questions on those 2? Okay, the next item 11K is a contract with CSG 4T Payments, Inc. We had a square at the landfill, that little thing that you put on an iPad to take credit cards for tipping fees at the landfill. We've had a lot of trouble with it. We've gone through 3 of them. Connectivity is bad, so we got with IT and came up with a new system here with our software company, which is the one that's on this agenda item here. And it's just a way for people to charge at the landfill. This one will be hardwired. It'll be about a $450 machine. It should work a lot better than what we've had. Any questions on that one?
Yes. Will it capture the fees for us?
It will, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll do everything, and then they're charging a 3.2% credit card usage fee
Perfect, thank you.
to the consumer or to whoever's using it. Other questions? And then finally, item 12C, regular agenda, is the purchase of a 2024 air burner from the city of Gadsden. City of Gadsden has bought this machine to use. They lost their place to put it. And so they declared it through their council a surplus piece of equipment. I had budgeted in our solid waste budget $260,000 for this machine. They were going to sell it to us for $208,000. I will still have to pay about $8,000 to move it here by the local guy that'll go pick it up and set it up in Industrial Park at the Starkey Drive property. We're saving quite a bit of money buying this thing. It's still under warranty. It's in good shape. It has 8 hours on it. And so we followed the code, went through Mr. Musgrove and made sure we did everything right. So it's less than fair market value. So saves quite a bit of money on what is a practically new machine. But this will go at Starkey Drive. We have already received the permit from ADEM to operate it, and it came through the Public Works Committee the other day. Any questions on that item? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
How are you all this afternoon? Are you ready for me, Katrina?
Yes. I'm sorry, I didn't
You're
have
good,
the
you're
other
good.
page.
You're good. I have a few items on the agenda tonight. The first one is 11L, and this is a non-disclosure agreement between the City of Florence, Toyota, and TVA. This is concerning our Mercury Solar project that we're doing with the other 11 local power companies. And this is just kind of the next step to the project for TVA. We've signed the flexibility agreement, and this is just the next step for TVA. Any questions about that? Okay. Next, I have, this is kind of a yearly contract that we do. North Alabama Drilling. This is just a contract to continue services with them for any locations that we do not have the equipment to drill through solid rock. And so they have the equipment to do that. So this is we contract with them. We don't use them but a few times a year, but we like keeping it in place because when we need it, and we don't want to have to wait to get the contract signed. This is just a yearly thing that we do every year to keep in place as needed. Next, I have GeoSource. We have our old warehouse building. We've just had some issues with some of the people staying sick all the time, so we are going to perform an air quality test on this building, and they are handling all that for us. So then after we get that back, we can evaluate it and determine what to do next. But this is just the initial air quality test. And the last two are kind of the same thing. These are kind of our yearly agreements. Robert Potts doing business All Brand. This is for our ice machines. This is just our yearly renewal for them to do maintenance on our ice machines that are at our warehouse. And then Maintenance Plus, the same, our yearly renewal for them to do maintenance on our HVAC units as needed. Y'all are getting a lot of these at the end of the year. Any questions? Okay.
That's it, thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Bailey?
What questions can I answer for you regarding the contracts for Community Development Block Grant?
You and I had a conversation a few years back, and I was asking about the flexibility of those grants, and you said in the application process that generally those are earmarked and required to be used based on the grant application. Did I interpret that correctly?
So for the contracts that you are approving tonight or will take up for consideration tonight, those are public service contracts. Public services are capped at 15% of the overall grant that we receive, which is $320,000 this year. Remember that CDBG is a formula grant, which means that annually that formula grant could change, but generally it sits between $320,000 and $325,000. It's based on your low, moderate income population of your entire city, not a particular section of your city. Some of you probably know that all districts have low, moderate income individuals residing in them. Low, moderate income areas, generally speaking, lie within the West Florence, East Florence, and North Florence areas. As far as public services go, that 15% cap hits at exactly $48,000. This year, these applicants received 100% of what they requested. Any other questions?
Y'all have anything?
Please, I invite you to ask all the questions that you have.
Just for point of clarification, you did receive some money for some housing redevelopment or I'm using the wrong word there. It's
Lead-based-
rehabilitation.
Yes, housing rehabilitation, or residential rehabilitation.
And for the lead-based housing rehabilitation, are we under contract with Community Action to administer those grants?
We are, both of those grants. So the lead hazard grant is approximately 1.4 million, and the residential rehabilitation portion of CDBG is 100,000. Both of those contracts are administered by Community Action Agency, as they do have the staff and the experience in residential rehab. If you look at their weatherization program, if you look at the LIHEAP program, you can see that their talent and expertise matches those programs as they do with residential rehab. For this particular, well, actually for last year, this year, and the next 2 years, at a minimum, the $100,000 in residential rehabilitation money, which was presented to you as a contract in November, is the required match to that lead hazard grant, the 1.2 million. Therefore, residential rehab clients must meet the qualifications for both the residential rehab program and the lead-based hazards program. Those qualifications are set by federal law, not by Melissa Bailey, not by the department, not by the city, not by you all, by the federal government.
And the money is primarily for homes built prior to 1978 that may have lead-based paint in them.
That is correct. The Healthy Homes Initiative was brought forward in 2023. In the summer, July of 2025, the current administration, the Trump administration, changed the way that those funds could be expended, narrowing the requirements, narrowing the recommendations that could be made, which is why we are required, and subsequently Community Action as a subrecipient must not only qualify their applicants as residential rehabilitation applicants, but also as lead hazard eligibility.
And I met with them. Because we're under contract with them, and they are determining the qualifications and who's qualified for that.
Correct.
They get audited by federal auditors because of this
That's
money.
correct. We do as well.
And it's my understanding from them that they score very well, among the highest, if not the highest, for community action equivalents across the state.
That's correct.
In their audits.
That's
Right.
correct.
Okay.
The same for the balance of the program, which is also audited on a annual basis through our department by the Department of HUD.
And if they were to be outside the lines or the parameters or restrictions, they can be disqualified from future, being a subrecipient of future grants.
It's actually worse. Not only would they be disqualified, and we potentially would be as well, but there is immediate payback for violating any rule that is outlined in the Code of Federal Regulations, or CFR.
I have nothing else.
I do have a question. Just to piggyback off what Mr. Collier said. When someone is denied, do they receive a letter, or could they receive a letter as to why?
If they are denied, they do receive correspondence. That could be a phone call.
Okay.
It could be any manner of consideration.
So does that come from your office?
It
or
does
does it
not.
come from, is it community
It
action?
does not. It comes from Community Action Agency. They are our subrecipient.
Right. Anybody else have any questions for her? No? Okay.
I would invite you all to contact our office at any time. I would also invite you and anyone in the audience and anyone listening to visit the city's website where you can find a copy of our consolidated plan, which is a 5-year non-fiscally constrained plan that is required by the Office of HUD. You will also find the annual action plan, which is fiscally constrained for each of the budget years. That budget year begins on May the 1st and ends on April 30th. You will also find the CAPER, which is our end of the year report. All of those required by HUD. Anything else?
Do you have anything?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Lighty?
Good evening. I have two items on the regular agenda, items D and E, and they are both alcohol beverage license applications. One for the operation of a special retail with on-premises liquor, beer, and wine by Compass Group USA Incorporated, doing business as Chartwells, located at 701 North Pine Street, Florence, Alabama, which is Flowers Hall on the UNA campus. So they're looking for special events to have alcohol there. And my understanding is going forward at a later date, they're looking at also the football stadium and possibly the baseball stadium is what I'm being told. The other one is a resolution to approve an alcohol beverage license application for the operation of a full menu restaurant with on-premises liquor, beer, and wine by Logan's Roadhouse Enterprises LLC, doing business as Logan's Roadhouse 312, located at 2890 Florence Boulevard, Florence, Alabama. And this is a change of ownership. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Bowling?
Yes, on the regular agenda, item 12A, this was on the previous agenda that did not receive immediate consideration. This is a extension for the Reverb Hotel. Their contract was ending the 31st of this month, so it is an 8-month extension to that contract.
Thank you. Mayor Tyler?
Thank you, Ms. Simmons. Just one item. It is 11W, and this is a resolution to approve an agreement between the City of Florence and Make Music Day. This is for a total of $350. I think this is a partnership that we engage in and participate in the last couple of years. And what happens is on Summer Solstice Day that you connect communities through free public music events, and we participate with the Florence Academy of Fine Arts from Florence City Schools, the Downtown Florence Alliance, Florence Lauderdale Public Library, UNA, and some other local musicians. So for a contribution of $350 to this, it helps with the website platform, promotes local events, manages some of the listings, and encourages people to come out and enjoy this music that will happen in the summer. So it will happen Sunday, June 21st for a $350 contribution.
Great, thank you. That's all we have, at least that's all I have. Am I missing anything?
No, that's it.
Okay. Okay. Council, do y'all have anything else to add? Okay, that's all we have right now for the work session, and we will take a break and start back promptly at 5 p.m.